what would you want your legacy your legacy to be, and explain how you're working at this time on that.
Well, what I want my legacy to be, and particularly amongst Black people, I want us to start pay attention, valuing, Black art. And I'm not saying that we don't, but I mean in the sense of there's two artists that really advised me too. They told me to get out of Milwaukee. That was the late Calvin Greer and the late Patrick Turner.
Really?
So I started looking elsewhere. I started going south. I joined the Folk Art Society, actually sold some work there. And then I found out about another show called Kentuck that's in Northport, Alabama. And it was amazing because some of the top self-taught folk artists and outside artists at the time that was doing the show, like Jimmy Lee Sutter, Lonnie Holly, Charlie Palmer, Mary Proctor, Matrice West. And I was so amazed. And they said it was hard to get in the show. I actually applied to get in the show the next year. And I got in. I was shocked.
There you go.
And then they said it was hard to get in that show, after that. And I got in 3 years. I've been doing the show 20 years. And all the artists I talked to you about before were like guest art. Howard Finster was one too. They were guest artists. And now, for maybe the last 10 years, I've been a guest artist.
Okay.
They invited me to do the show.
Now, you mentioned self-taught folk art. So explain to the audience two things. What is a self-taught artist? And explain to them what is folk art.
Okay. Self-taught folk art, there's outsider art, art brut, there's so many names, art of prisoners. Basically, it's basically people that don't have a degree in art. There's some people that have degrees but not in art. And there are a couple artists that have degrees, but because they work so outside, they're producing art for different reasons. They're not responding to a movement. They're not responding to anything in the art world. For example, Prophet Royal Robinson, he started creating art when his wife left him. Okay. Howard Finster started creating art because he wanted to, reach. He was a pastor and he wanted to reach his, people. Mary Proctor started making art because of an accident, of a fire. So some other reason why they're making, they're making the art. Now, folk art does not, and self-taught and outside does not mean that they're, a lot of people think it's primitive. That's not true either. There are some self-taught folk artists that know how to draw. And if you think about things like the Sweetgrass baskets, shaker furniture, those are highly skilled, but it's, it's still folk art, but it's not really, it's basically, you're not making art because of the art world. You're not making art because you're responding to some movement.
Right.
It's usually some personal reason or some cultural reason why you're making the art.
Okay. So last question.
Greenwood Park Gallery and Framing specializes in custom framing, printing on canvas, and selling contemporary and African American art, all housed in our 3,000 square foot art gallery. We are centrally located in Milwaukee. at 4233 West Fond du Lac Avenue. We recognize local artists and strive to connect local talent with the community. We're asking for your support. Contact us to find out how you can help sponsor the work we're doing to highlight local artists in our community.
What would you want your legacy to be, and explain how you're working at this time on that.
Well, what I want my legacy to be, and particularly amongst Black people, I want us to start pay attention, valuing, Black art. And I'm not saying that we don't, but I mean in the sense of we need to document it. We need to, write about it. We need to, collect it. And I want us to collect it so we have control of our own narrative. One of the things I'm working on now, I'm working with a group of people to build an African American art museum, Bronzeville Centers for the Arts. And that's one of the things that we're talking about. And we're going, not even talking about exhibiting. We're talking about documenting, writing, doing publications about it, and also getting young people and kids about careers in the arts, particularly art historians, preparators, curators, museum jobs, conservators. I mean, there's so many careers. So I want my legacy to be like my grandson goes to my ed. I want him to have an easier path than I and other young artists. I want my great-granddaughter who says that she's an artist. I want them to have that path. And I think about my best friend's granddaughter. She was telling me that my best friend granddaughter, 11, she says she draws very realistically for an 11-year-old. And then she stopped drawing realistically, which I thought was weird, because when I was a kid, the kids that knew how to draw were real cool. But she was saying that the kids were laughing at her because she was drawing realistically. She wasn't drawing
what they were drawing. Right.
And so she pulled back and started drawing like them. So I want my legacy while working at BCA to be there for her, to let her know that she can be an artist. She doesn't have to hide who she is.
Exactly. Well, once again, Della, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And ladies and gentlemen, Della Wells.
Hi.
Thank you. Thank you. Greenwood Park and the Artist Connection. The Artist Connection podcast was generated from many conversations with local artists around the lack of opportunity to showcase their talent. Here at Greenwood Park Gallery and Framing, we recognize our local talent and strive to connect artists with the community. Please enjoy this opportunity to hear from local artists and learn more about what inspires their work.